My name is Lin. I am the youngest in a family that was torn apart long before this hospital room. Our Dutch father and Vietnamese mother divorced decades ago, splitting our world in two. My brother Khoa and I moved to Vietnam with mom, while my eldest sister, Anna, and brother Matthew stayed here in Amsterdam with dad. After mom passed away in Vietnam, we thought our separate lives would never cross again, until dad felt critically ill. Now, the four of us are gathered back here in the Netherlands, facing a ghost from our past. Anna, carrying the heavy burden of the eldest, has been running on empty until the nightmares stripped away the last of her strength.
Anna, what are you doing? What's writing?
I just have a night.
Drink some water. And maybe you should go home.
I came. And my father brought me here.
Track? Yes, maybe. Maybe you track? But the question is, who's keep the cage out?
I have revealed the latest dance. There is no change. And just wait. We shouldn't expect any. But he looked peaceful. Doctor. Sometimes his finger twitch. Is it a sign? What is the percentage of him waking up? There must be a chance. Doctor. Maybe. Those are just basic neurological reflexes. Medically, your father has been in a permanent vegetative state for 5 years. The chance of meaningful recovery is very low, around 5 to 10%. But his heart is still beating. There must be a chance for his life. I urge you all to consider what he would have wanted. Prolonging this might no longer be here. It might be an extension of his suffering. So what we do next?
Just sign the paper, and then you go.
What? Are you hearing yourself, Matthew? He's our father. You cannot pull the plug like it's a business decision.
Matthew, I know his body is healthy. I clean him every day, but his heart is beating in Vietnam. You don't just abandon our parents when they become a burden. Like we say by the time that what evidence.
This isn't a burning, Ning. It's about mercy. It's for letting him go. In Netherlands, dignity matters than just forcing a machine to keep him alive.
Hey, he never finished. It's the New Year paperwork. He just thinking about it. If we do this without his formal consent, it's murder, Matthew. I cannot believe that.
Murder? How you can say that? Matthew don't talk about murder. We don't kill him. We give him peace. I have lived with him for years, and I know how he values freedom, independence.
Hey, Anna. So both of you want him gone, so that you don't have to deal with the burden, yeah? So that you don't have to deal with him? I'm the murderer.
Don't say that to her. You know how much Anna sacrificed.
His heart is still feeling.
Stop it. Remember, where we are. Enough. She's his room.
Can I get back to work?
I will get some coffee for you and Hua too.
I used to blame Anna for being cold when she took Matthew's side. But I forgot that because she stayed in the Netherlands, she was the one who had to carry the weight of that reality alone, while Kwa and I were thousands of miles away. She was the one drowning in views, facing a truth I refused to look at.
Mom?
Hey, Anna, you pay for your father's hospital fee again? Why do you think for your children? They need to go to school, Anna.
Mom, he's my dad. I can't.
Hey, shut up. Please think for your husband and your children.
I know, but Mom, you need to understand me a little bit more. I'm also tired with that. I'm stuck in a situation.
I don't care. I don't care you are the older sister or the youngest one. Your father is already very weak. He needs to let him go. Very easy.
Mom,
Say goodbye.
wait. Mom just called me, and she told a lot. I feel so guilty. I abandoned my family, but also abandoned my own father.
No one thinks you're abandoning him, Anna. I love him too, but maybe true love right now isn't holding on. It's having the courage to let him rest.
It turned out that before the divorce pulled them apart, Mom and Dad had already shown us their separate worlds. Mom's Vietnamese heart saw death as the duty of eternal remembrance. Dad's Dutch practicality saw it as a long, peaceful sleep. And that told Anna to simply choose whatever gives the heart peace.
Just different cultures, different minds. To choose something you feel good, right? Yeah.
Hey, Anna. This is a lucky charm I make for you. Here you are.
Thank you, Mom. Hey, Mom, what is the meaning of this lucky charm? Oh, Mom, the kids at school say when we die, we become dirt. There's no heaven or God. Is that true?
Of course not, honey. In Vietnam, we believe that our ancestors are always watching over us. We even had a festival to give them food and gifts. We didn't just disappear.
Don't scare her. Here in the Netherlands, we are practical. When you die, you just sleep. A very long, peaceful sleep. No God, no stress.
Wow, so boring. Just sleeping. No spicy of food up there. No parties.
Exactly. Efficient and quiet. We don't want to bother the living cook for us.
So, who's right?
Neither. It's just different culture. And Matthew, whom I always judged for being too westernized, was actually the one who understood the true value of the freedom that had given him when our family broke apart.
I have something to tell you that I and Alejandro are in a relationship.
I gave birth to you, Matthew. In Vietnam, the government still hasn't recognized same-sex marriage. If you choose this path, who will take care of you when you are sick later? And the neighbors, the relatives looking at us. Where will I hide my face?
You just need to accept me.
You don't even know how to hide my face anymore. When our relatives look at us, people will laugh at us.
While Khoa and I grew up under the weight of social expectations in Vietnam, Matthew was raised here, where his identity was protected. That gave him the right to choose himself. And now, Matthew wanted to return that same gift to that, the right to a dignified ending, free from the cage of a machine. Watching Khoa silently packing that things, I finally understood the weight behind his quiet hands. After the divorce, Khoa carried a dark emptiness back to Amsterdam, only to spiral into the darkest corner of this city. I can still imagine it, my brother dying alone on a cold floor, suffocating in an overdose. He was ready to give up, but Dad found him just in time. He broke down the door and pulled Khoa back from the edge of death. That night was the first time Khoa felt that stare on his face.
This country is too permissive, my child. They let you freely use the drugs out of the streets. And when you fall, they shove you into the iron cage.
The conditions here are very different. They are helping me to become my affliction. No one is picking me or using me.
What's so good about it? What's the point of all the freedom? It turns my child into this. If only had kept you back in Vietnam, even if we were poor, even if there were restrictions, I would have locked you inside the house, just so you could grow up to be a decent person.
At the rehabilitation center, Mom called this country a trap, but Dad stood his ground. Our Dutch father didn't see a criminal. He saw a sick child who needed a hand. He promised Mom that no matter how messy it got, he would never leave Khoa behind.
Just working from the station, the smell of weed is everywhere. In the cafes, in the parks, your country calls it freedom. I called it a trap that caught our son.
Oh baby, the Dutch way isn't about encouraging it, it's about honesty. If we make it illegal, the sickness just hides in the shadow. But putting it in the light, we can see who needs help. Khoa stumbled, yes, but he is getting medical help now, not a criminal record that ruins his life. When you fly back to Vietnam?
Tuesday, the shop needs me, and Linh needs to go back to school. Promise me you will stay by his side. Don't let him be alone.
Of course, you grab him in your care. I work with him in the past. We just love him in different ways, but we will never leave him behind.
That was when Khoa's silent vow was born. He was saved by Dad's unconditional grace. Now Khoa isn't staying by Dad's beside, but out of blind duty. He is paying back a debt of light. Dad refused to give up on him, so Khoa refuses to work away now. And then there was me, still haunted by mom's final words on her deathbed in Vietnam. To her, love meant sacrifice, giving up your own dreams to keep the family secure. I felt so guilty for choosing music over medicine. I think I was an unfilial daughter. Mom, try harder.
Lynn, listen to me. Don't pursue a career in music. Once I'm gone, no one will be protect you. Listen to me. Be a doctor. So a dutiful child will sacrifice their unrealistic career to protect their parents. Promise me.
Yes.
So I can rest in peace.
Yes, mommy. I will listen to you. Có lẽ nào em vừa quên đi và có lẽ nào em đưa mùa thu đi. Có lẽ nào mùa thu chẳng còn lại gì trong tâm trí em. Có lẽ nào em muốn tay anh đi xa mất. Có lẽ nào anh không phải là người em yêu nhất. Có lẽ nào anh phải tự như gian lận một giấc mơ. Anh mất
Dad.
em rồi.
Mom forced me to study medicine to live a safe life. I disobeyed her to sue, but I feel unfilial. Why did you force me to study anything like her?
Governor thought because she was terrified of the storms. She wanted to walk to the same highway. That's what I learned. Then I went to the same other. I want you to love the street. Well, I want to my play, but I could not say young my mom seems that she can love me.
It's so beautiful. Thanks, Dad.
I hope my dad gets better. Spreaden remind me of him. He wasn't like anyone. He didn't force me to pursue a career I don't like. That morning, the Amsterdam fog rolled into the city, washing away the life that had divided our childhoods for decades. Out there, the world kept moving, but inside us, time had completely stopped. Hello, Timmy. I'm very tired. My brother and sister want to put a plug on my dad, and I strongly oppose it. But I feel suffocated. Whenever I close my eyes, I always hear my mom said, filial piety means doing everything to keep our family together. I cannot end my dad's life with my own hands, even though I also don't want him to continue suffer from the pain. What should I do next?
I understand, Lynn. In a life or death decision like this, everyone is terrified of becoming a sinner.
The two siblings from Vietnam and the two from the Netherlands. We were no longer fighting. The arguments didn't end because we finally agreed. They ended because we were too exhausted to fight. But in that heavy silence, something shifted. The white paper remained blank. The pen sat there, cold and metallic. That raised us in two different worlds, teaching us that love is about giving others the freedom to choose. But now that the power of choice rests in our hands, the line between an honorable goodbye and a heartbreaking betrayal is only a single stroke of ink away. Our hands. Hi, director. Congratulations on such a powerful film. What inspired the story and why did you choose the withdrawal of life-sustaining treatment as your topic? Well, actually, the film isn't about the medical act itself. It's about decision-making when the person who should choose no longer has a voice. Once the father became comatose, the question shifted from personal dilemma to a family crisis. Who has the moral right to decide when to stop? That is where culture steps in, shaping how family members define love, duty, and dignity. So, many viewers felt that every sibling represented a different perspective. Was that intentional? Yes, but they do not represent good or bad choices. They represent different cultural dimensions coexisting within one multicultural family. They share the same DNA and they love their father, but because they were shaped by different environments, they decode the exact same strategy through completely different lenses. Then, how does Hofstede individualism or collectivism appear in your film? Oh, this is the dramatic foundation of the entire story. Linh and Khoa represent collectivism. They embody the Eastern collective worldwide. To them, a family member's life belongs to the whole unit. Keeping their father's heart beating is a shared emotional obligation and the ultimate expression of filial piety. However, Matthew represents individualism, who reflects the Western individualist mindset. To him, personal autonomy is a fundamental right, meaning his father's underlying wish for self-determination should override family emotional attachment. And Anna, the court middle, as the elder sister, she is tragically torn between her collective duty to the family and the harsh practical reality of long-term care. The film asks a painful question. Does love mean protecting biological life at all costs, or does it mean respecting an individual's right to let go? Besides individualism, what other cultural dimension influenced the conflict? We move for other dimension into their psychology, looking at them as emotional survival mechanism. First of all, power distance and the fear of violating maternal authority. Cá không ăn muối cá ương. While the father's flashback teaches low power distance, where every voice in the family matters. Second one, uncertainty avoidance. Anna clings to hope and a ritual through the mindset of còn nước, còn tát. The Dutch medical team conversely operate on dogmatic evidence, accepting death as a natural biological end. Masculinity versus femininity. The model represents rigid social expectation of success and shame. The father embodies feminine values, prioritizing quality of life, empathy, and unconditional tolerance toward his children's flaws. And the last one, long-term orientation. Vietnam's long-term mindset manifests as extreme endurance, bearing a heavy cross for 5 years in hope of a miracle. A Dutch perspective leans short-term here, focusing intensely on the dignity and peace of the present moment. Some viewers notice that the siblings communicate very differently. Does this reflect Edward T. Hone's theories? Absolutely. The ICU room is a direct collision where low contact directness meet high contact implicitness, but notice how it evolves at the end. Min, who is low context, he expresses parts with absolute verbal directness early on, but at the end, his silent and lifeless eyes show that he has run out of logical arguments. His low context mindset due to the emotional weight of the family. And Anna, who is the in-between, her tightly clenched, helpless hands outside the room symbolize the ultimate breaking point of someone torn between explicit financial reality and implicit cultural duty. And Kwa, in high contrast, his resistance and his love are entirely non-verbal. When the audience sees him silently and carefully packing dead things by bed, that is the epitome of high context communication, expressing profound filial piety through a quiet, heartbreaking action rather than words. The ending never tells us whether the paper was signed or whose hand touched the pen. Why? Because a closed ending forces a moral answer on the audience, but a short on blank space forces them to confront their own cultural assumptions. During that long silence, the audience isn't just looking at the piece of paper, they are projecting their own values onto it. A collectivist viewer may stare at the paper and hope the pen is never picked up, and individualist viewer might hope for a signature. So by leaving the space blank, the film becomes a mirror for the audience's own cultural definition or dignity. Then, what is the resolution of this intercultural conflict? The resolution is intercultural communication flexibility, but it doesn't happen through a magical compromise, it happens through shared suffering. For siblings stop trying to convince each other that their way was the only right way. When they stand in silence outside the room, looking at each other, they move away from ethnocentrism. Judging others by their own cultural rules, they shift toward ethno-relativism. They still don't agree on the solution, but they finally respect the cultural root behind each other's pain. If audiences remember only one message after watching your film, what would you want it to be? Culture teaches us different ways to love, grieve, and face death. But true intercultural flexibility begins when we stop asking which culture is right and start asking why another compassionate human being sees the world differently. Understanding doesn't always require agreement. Sometimes practicing mindful awareness and understanding itself is the most meaningful resolution.
That you'll ever do. Two can be as bad as one. It's the loneliest number since the number one.